Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. New moon. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi. Hi, guys. Welcome to the live new moon reading. I am Readings by Rissa. You can follow me at Readings by Rissa. And I am on at Indigo Goddess's page today, ready to give you guys some spirit messages about this beautiful new moon that we have in Cancer. I'm going to go over all of the signs with everybody. I'm going to have some messages personally for the signs. I'm also going to go over some of the shifts that we experienced last month. I have a few videos on that from this month, but I want to cover that as well. And then I also have just a couple of things that have kind of crossed my mind and things that we can reflect on and use to purge and really get things going for these new beginnings that we're creating with the new moon. So I am talking to two different cameras right now. So if you guys know somebody that wants to be able to watch this new moon reading live and won't be able to catch it, I am filming it on my YouTube channel as well. I'm not live on YouTube, but I will be posting that video shortly after so that you guys can access it after as well if you want to look back and check on things. So super excited. Good to see you guys again too. Oh, thanks. These are my boyfriend's glasses, actually. So I'm just gonna give a couple minutes, just not even really minutes, probably just like 30 seconds or so before I start. I just wanna give people a chance to join. I know usually I start pretty fast and everybody's like, I missed my sign. So I want to make sure everybody has time. I hope you guys are having a really good day today. I know I'll talk a little bit about moon sensitivity because I get really moon sensitive. I'm sure you guys do too. So when I get moon sensitive, I usually get sensitive to the new moon. So usually it's a hit or miss for me, or both, a hit and a miss from the new moon. I feel like sometimes I'll get a little bit down, a little bit sluggish, a little bit drained before the new moon. But for the full moon, in opposition to that, I usually feel great. Like for the full moon, I'm usually like right in that center and feeling really good and charged up by the moon and really connected with it. So, and really psychically in tune during the full moon too. So this can be different for everybody. So really pay attention to which moon you feel most in sync with so that you can kind of prepare for that, because sometimes we won't realize that, oh, it's right around a new moon. I always feel like this around a new moon. That's all it is. So that can be really helpful for just our own, peace of mind and our own satisfaction with things as well. I hope you guys can hear me with the AC on, but if you can't hear me that well, tell me. You guys can still hear me good? I think you guys are good. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start. I want to talk a little bit first about this moon, about Cancer moon. So the new moon is in Cancer. That is a water sign. So Cancers are usually very wavy with their emotions. So they feel their emotions really deeply. No matter what emotion it is, they're feeling it super deep. So Cancers represent that water energy, and also really goes in tune with the moon energy because we're feeling our emotions. Luna is so emotion sensitive, so any moon in Cancer is going to be extra emotional. Also, we have a tendency with Cancer moons to have kind of a little bit more of a reserve on our own expression of our emotions. So we might be bottling up our emotions or suppressing them a little bit, not expressing them completely. And that's really normal too. And that's something to look out for if you're a Cancer, because if you're feeling really deeply and you're not expressing it, that can really bottle up and build momentum in a way that you might not want. And eventually it will just explode, and you don't want to have that energy. If you can try to tame it with grounding and clearing your energy, meaning allowing yourself to sit in meditation and feel your energy releasing through your body and out of your body into the ground, the energy that you do not want to carry anymore, releasing that into the ground and clearing it that way. Grounding and clearing is a really great strategy in meditation to do right before you meditate, as well as even right after, because you want to be sure to ground the messages you're getting from spirit, and also ground and clear whatever you're bringing into your meditation, so that you can have a pure meditation and a pure connection with spirit without anything kind of dirtying it up or getting in the way of your connection. So I'll go over real quick just a couple grounding techniques. What you would do, and we can all do this together right now. I want to start doing this kind of thing together before we start, just so we're all open to our auras and open to the moon, calling on the moon energy. So if we were to ground our energy, say we're feeling icky, or we just want to get rid of something, or we want to really get focused and pure in meditation, what we'll do is we'll close our eyes, we'll get really centered, get comfy, and I want you to imagine a cord coming from source, up from source, coming from that beam of light down into your crown chakra in the top of your head, and that cord running down the back of your neck and spine, down to the base of your tailbone, and extending all the way down deep into the ground, into the earth's crust, deep, deep, deep into the core of the earth. And when we do that, we connect completely to source, and we connect completely to our grounding energy of being on this earth. And as the vessels of the source light, we allow the source light with deep inhales to enter our being, deep inhale entering our being. And as we exhale, we allow that white light to cleanse and clear any negative energy or any energy not serving us, washing that energy down and out into the earth, so that the earth can take it, ground it, and transmute it into light again. So we can do that a couple times, breathing deeply, imagining that cord extending down and cleaning our whole aura, just like a tube, and cleaning out any gunk, anything that's clogging, any blockages, and fully releasing all of that into the ground and earth. And so when we do that, it feels really, really good, because we are able to then become clear-minded and clear in spirit, and we are ready for our messages, and we also are no longer feeling the weight of whatever energy we might have been feeling before. I don't know if you guys have felt that, but I felt the energy change there. And you can practice it alone or with someone. All right, so I'm going to get into the signs now. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm picking up with every sign. So the first one I'm going to start with is water signs. These are my Cancers, my Pisces, and my Scorpios. I'm reverting to my notes down here because I take them throughout the month as I get messages on the moon. So water signs, because we're in Cancer moon, it is a water sign. We are feeling intense waves, intense waters surrounding specifically relationships. It's important to use that grounding and clearing method that I just went over, because when we're feeling that wave or tidal wave of emotion surrounding our relationships, it's important for us to ground and clear that, so that we can become completely clear and centered in how we want to express and what we're expressing. A lot of times we'll feel that wave of emotion, but we won't know what to do with it, and so it can be very confusing. So when you ground and clear, you get clarity on how and what to do next. Also, solitude to reflect on these emotional waves for our water signs, really important, because solitude will get rid of a lot of that confusion that comes with the wave. A lot of times we're wanting to strategize or understand and break down all of our emotions, but it's hard to do that when we have outside influences or other people distracting us. And because Cancers and most water signs are very empathic, emotionally sensitive to other people, it can get even more confusing trying to decipher whose energy we're picking up and which one is really ours to actually clear. So when you get into solitude, if you've been really wanting your alone time, if you've been really focused on that, really surrender to that, because that's your higher self telling you, hey, it's time to get some alone time so we can process these emotions that keep hitting us out of nowhere and understand what to do with them and how to express. That also will help you reboot on the energy too. And know that the cleansing waters are also here for you. So all of the intense waters that are surrounding us with that, we also can call on the cleansing waters in meditation, allowing that smooth tide to flow over us, the waves of energy flowing over us, and really calling on that to clear our soul. Stillness is great for the balance too. So when the tides are feeling extra intense, those emotional waves are feeling extra intense, being still, not acting, not having an immediate response, but instead reserving it and waiting for the waters to calm before you act can help create a smoother transition and a smoother interaction when you're having those waves of emotion. All right, I know all my Leos and all my fire signs are getting anxious. So fire sign is next. These are my Aries, my Sagittarius, and my Leo. We are working on clearing emotions, and we are clearing them from a more direct and straightforward way. So you fire signs are kind of going right to the point. You're seeing what's not flowing, and you're like, ugh, get out of here. You're cutting it off. You're moving on. Not as much emotional ties to the things that you're feeling that need to be cleared. You're just simply letting go, which is really good. It's good to clear those emotions. Make sure that the clean cuts that you're having from your circumstance and relationship, that you are being gentle with them, that you're making sure that you're courteous of the other people, the circumstance, so that you don't burn any bridges. Leos and Aries, Sagittariuses, when they get that fire up under them, it's important not to burn a bridge, not to use the fire so intensely that you're burning something away that could be beneficial for you later in learning and teaching in relationship and just light energy. So really make sure that even though you're cutting those ties and you're moving on, just make sure that you're not being too fiery, you're not being too insensitive to that. Also, you're trailblazing new and open space with this. So fire signs, you guys are cutting those circumstances off that aren't serving you, those relationships off that aren't serving you, and you're moving into a new open space super quick, trailblazing a new beginning with this new moon. So call on all the things that you wish to create with that trailblazing energy and just go completely full throttle into that, because you're already on the right path there. You're clearing the old forms, and now you're ready to move into the new and illuminated wisdom. Air signs. Okay, so my Geminis, I'm a Gemini, I love Geminis, whoop whoop. Gemini, Aquarius, and Libras, these are my air signs. Okay, so water and wind, that's what we're focusing on with you guys, because we're mixing the water, the Cancer water of this moon, with the wind energy, the air energy of our sign, and that's creating a nice cooling mist. It's like a soothing mist after a very strong emotional roller coaster that we just went on with the last month. Everybody actually went on this roller coaster, and I'll talk about that a little bit with a shift of energy right after this, and the earth signs, of course. But with the air signs, we've got the intensities of the last month. Many intuitive upgrades have also come to you guys. So if you guys have been having more visual experiences with your meditation, or if you're feeling more intuitively connected, this is a big chance for you to alchemize that and really dive deep into the ways that you're feeling that and start to explore it. So if you're really interested in different parts of spirituality, or astral projection, or lucid dreaming, or mediumship, go ahead and dive into that. Start researching, start figuring out what parts of your soul are calling to that information, so that you can continue activating it, because it's already activating in you. Let's see. Empathy is a really big thing for us too, these air signs. So making sure that you're being self-nurturing in that, knowing that you're empathic. So you're probably feeling your water friends, your Cancer friends that are feeling really intense in their emotions. Be there for them, be that wind, be that calming, intuitive guidance for them, and be sure to make sure that you're self-caring in that, because you don't want to drain yourself too much and then not have any energy for yourself. And then just keep creating from all the emotions you guys are getting, air signs, because you are still getting this roller coaster of creativity and of emotion. So use the emotion, the dips of emotion, and use those to create highs for you. Create new art, create new music if that's what you're into, create new plans and new beginnings, and new ways to help people as well as light workers. All of us can call on that energy. All right, earth signs, my Virgos, Taurus, and Capricorns. And I will save this video, guys. It will be on my YouTube, just so you know. So I'm recording. That's why I keep looking. So I'm recording over here and here for YouTube. So you can follow me at Readings by Rissa for the link to my YouTube, and I'll post that within tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, earth signs, okay? Virgos, Taurus, and Capricorn. This is a big deal because Capricorn, we are sharing that moon. And so we're kind of moving from Capricorn into Cancer, and we're playing this dance of Capricorn Cancer. And so the Cancer is like the divine feminine, that emotional energy, the watery energy. And the Capricorn is like the papa, the masculine energy, the action, the production, the providing for that energy. And so you guys are going to have an interesting dance during this time because there is a lot of separation and duality between you two, but there's also a lot of rhythm and a lot of cohesiveness once you find your balance. So you're going to be feeling earth signs, a little bit of that separation on a action and foundational level. So the circumstances that you're having, the environment that you're having, the relationships you're having, and you're kind of feeling this need to provide, to produce, to act, and go ahead and call on that and really dive into that. But it's really also important while you dive into that to make sure to nurture yourself, nurture that emotional body, knowing that you have that intuitive balance that's necessary, and making sure that you're using that and activating that fully so that you guys can really make sure that all of the balance is there and nothing gets really left behind on the skills that you have. So pairing with that feminine energy, finding balance in the roles. Also, guys, earth signs, stay grounded with the ability to provide and get your emotions off the ground, your ambitions off the ground. And also self-nurture and use your intuition. I already went over that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so real quick before we go, I want to talk about the energy shift that we all experienced last month. Well, it was kind of mid to end of June and then early July up until now. So it was like this weird month of crazy shifting. I know you guys all felt it. I was hearing you guys talk about it tons and tons and asking me questions. So just to break it down real quick. So from mid-June to July, we had a big light upgrade shift. Today is a solar eclipse, so we are having a literal transition from light into dark and then back into light. So what happens with that energy and why we were feeling it so strongly this past month is that we literally have had a shadow self come up and surface from the light energy we were creating and already knowing about ourselves. But the shadow self crept up and showed its face out of nowhere, it felt like, right? We were like, why are we acting this way? Why are we so angry? Why are we frustrated? Why are we being mean to people? Or why are we cutting people off? And then had to regain our light recently in this last week, really only, after some serious heavy emotional purging and circumstances changing and transforming into new beings. So shadow self, let me talk about it just real quick. Shadow self is the side of you that you aren't willing to accept yet. It's the side of you that likes to show its face when you're not ready for it. It's the side of you that wants to tell you, hey, there's still some stuff you got to work on. There's still some flaws you have to face. There's still some fears that you have, and they're not all the way gone. And the shadow self rears its head when it's time to have the light hit it and clear it. And that's why it can feel so dualistic and so hard to deal with, because we're literally feeling a separation within ourselves, and we're seeing one side of us, our spirit side, our divine intuitive side, is saying, look at yourself. This is not okay. And your shadow self is like, I'm here and I'm strong and I want to stay here. And so we have these energies of like self-deprecation, and we blame and guilt ourselves and shame ourselves for having our shadow self because we're not proud of it. It's not something that we like to admit. We don't want to see it. We keep it in the shadow for a reason. But what we need to do, and what is most important to do with our shadow self, guys, is to really face it. Because if we don't face it, it will come up when it's time again. And that is the reason why it surfaces, is because when it surfaces, that's our spirit saying, hey, you have enough light in you to conquer this. You have enough of that energy to transmute this shadow, and that's why I've decided as your higher self, your spirit, your higher power, to bring this shadow into your vision. And it's now your responsibility, because you have the light to conquer it, to face it and conquer it and release it. And so be brave, because it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of courage to sit inside of yourself and say, man, I still have these fears that I thought I've cleared years ago and I need to get rid of. I might not know how to get rid of them, but I need to get rid of them. It's now or never. Or I have these insecurities that I know have been holding me back. And if I don't get rid of them, it's now or never. So face them. Know that you have the light within you to conquer it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be seeing the shadow yet. So be happy that you're seeing the shadow. That means that you've elevated to a new level of your spirituality where you can actually address this and clear it and reach a whole new level of your being, a whole new potential. So I encourage you to use the grounding and clearing method before you meditate. Ground and clear anything that's infiltrating your aura. Meditate on your shadow. Ask for your spirit to bring you understanding and clarity on your shadow in a safe and comfortable way and a validating way for you in that meditation. And allow yourself to sit and breathe deeply and bring that in. And when you bring it in, you're in your own aura, you're in your meditative space, you're in your safe Merkaba space, right? And you can see and meet your shadow just like you would a spirit guide. And you can meet it and say, why are you here? What's the root of you? I see you. I see the insecurity. I see the fear. Where are you coming from? And ask it to guide you into that root. Maybe it's a past experience from years ago that you never knew affected you that way. Maybe it's something that you've defined yourself to be that you know isn't really you, and you haven't really addressed that yet. And once you find the root and the trigger, that's it. You guys are completely good. Then all you have to do is accept that that's where it came from, that's why it's there, and decide that it has no longer any control or power over you, and you can absolutely release and clear it from that point. And even if it still rears its head later, because it's not a simple process, it doesn't just happen like that, it does take practice, but even if it does come back later, now you have the awareness, now you have the ability to say, I've already met you, we already had this conversation, I know where you go, I'm not entertaining you, shadow self. I already know that part of myself. I've accepted that that's me, and I just choose not to be fueling that anymore. And then you're good. So I hope that we can all learn a lot from that shift that we had. And just so you know, guys, this is the first eclipse of 3 this summer. So we're going to be having this a little bit longer. We're going to be feeling this on and off energy a little bit. So prepare yourselves and really start getting into that mindfulness practice and self-care and self-nurture so that you can move through these shifts easily and keep elevating to the next level of your spirituality and your connection with Source. I love you guys. I know that was a huge, long video, but I wanted to make sure we got everything done. And it is like the half of the year mark, so it is kind of necessary to do a bigger reading for that because we are going through a lot of transformation. So if you have questions, if you want a reading to get a little bit more involved in your spiritual process or need an energy clearing to help purge the stuff that's coming up for you, please reach out to me at Readings by Rissa on Instagram. I do readings, energy clearings, past life, mediumship, all that you could think of, and I'm here for you always. Even if you just have a question, please message me. I love hearing from you guys. Let's keep building this web of light, everybody. I love you, and I will see you at the full moon. Go meditate and start your new beginnings today. Go meditate and call in what you want to bring. What do you want to create? New moons are for what you want to create. So we've purged, we're purging, we're getting rid of all that stuff from last time. Now, what are we creating? We've learned, what are we going to create now? So have a good one, guys. I love you. Go to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting this video up very soon. The link is in my bio at Readings by Rissa. I will post this reading again on YouTube just so that you have it and you can go back to it and watch. So I will see you then. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ah, it's so hard to say bye. Okay, bye.